Welcome guys to the end of term one. We are doing this little recording just to talk about what happened in the term and also just to hear from the students what stood out to them. This podcast or this video recording is basically just to give an indication for people who don't know what happens at RAF, what happens at RAF, but also to use it as a memoir of everything that happened for the students. So when they leave, they can look back on it and just reflect and hopefully have some laughs, and it'll be cool. Before you came to Ready and Fire, what were some of your thoughts before you got here? Like, what did you anticipate, especially like in the first week? Maybe Tando, do you want to go?
Okay, I think for me, I thought it was gonna be like straight up like, we're just gonna get straight into studying. Not like, I know there's like a few classes and stuff like that, but like I thought we were gonna go straight to studying. But then I was surprised about how we spoke more about like how the Lord helped the people in their careers and to where they were, and that was encouraging for me. It was very encouraging, yeah.
And you, Austin?
So before I went to RAF, I was like, oh, I don't know, like it looks cool and all, but Christian-based media school, I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't sure if how real it was or how genuinely like great it was, in a sense of like you'd be doing like high quality media stuff or also having a Christian basis. And in that sense, just looking at it and just seeing all the stuff that we've all managed to do as a group and together was like, wow, it's just actually really, really good stuff that we've done and really amazing.
Great. And Keaton, were you nervous, or how did you feel like before you came? Obviously you didn't know like everyone in the group. Like, were you nervous to see like who you're going to be spending a year with?
For me, I was quite nervous first, but I only knew like about Tando is joining, and then eventually like on the day when we all come together, like I was quite nervous because I didn't know the people, and after that I realized everyone is like cool and fun. So
Nice. Molly, do you think everyone is cool and fun?
I think one or two characters in this group, we put them aside, but the rest...
No,
Not joking. Nah, everyone's cool and fun. I'm enjoying this year so far, and it's like so cool to just spend time even outside of RAF together. It's so sick.
Nice. So like before you came, how are you feeling?
I think I was very excited, but like almost not knowing what to expect. Just like, I didn't honestly do a lot of like research. I just knew RAF, like this media school, and it was like equipped to serve, and I was like, okay, and the Lord told me. So the rest was like a little bit in the air, but it's like the expectation is way exceeded my expectation.
Cool. And then how was day one? It's always like the most awkward day because everyone comes in like you don't know anyone. Like, how was your guys' day one, and also like how was camp?
Okay, for me camp was fun. It was like, because we went like canoeing and stuff, and we were very tired. But camp was fun, and day one I was just like straight up saying hi to everyone. It's like, hey, hi, just to get to know everyone. And yeah, it was. I enjoyed it a lot. We played Mafia, and yeah, I enjoyed it quite a lot.
Nice.
I'd say for me, day one was it was really interesting. Like I didn't know anybody here, and I was like a little awkward. But after camp, I started to grow like more of a connection with everyone here, and I was like being more comfortable with people. And then after camp, I think camp has helped with that a lot, that we've kind of grown with each other and suffered through pain with each other, but it was a lot of fun though. So then after the weeks have been going by, I've just started getting closer and closer to people and getting more and more comfortable. So yeah.
Cool. Nice. Keaton, how did you feel about people after the camp? Did you feel like you got to know them like really quickly?
I think camp was amazing. Like we like connect very deeply, and like for me, like after camp, I really like thought like I have like best friends. Like everyone was so cool. So even though me and Alex couldn't like pedal back, but me and Alex even connect like very deep, even just talking and having conversation. So yeah, I really enjoy it.
Very cool. And you, Molly?
No,
How was Letu's paddling?
that's a topic we don't want to discuss. Tensions get high if we discuss something like that. But other than that, we connected really well. Me and Letu got a strong bond, but I wish camp was even longer. honestly. Like just being there with playing Mafia with the guys and chilling. Yeah, the paddling was probably the worst part.
Cool. For
There too.
if you're listening, basically your camp was we paddled 25 kilometers over 2 days to our accommodation and then back. So it was pretty crazy. And then our week 1 was basically we have different industry leaders, different industry guys come through, and they basically get to share their testimony of how God has worked in their lives, particularly in like a creative industry. And it kind of sets the foundation for the whole year. So we call it the Heart Week. So yeah, guys, maybe just quickly, like what are 1 or 2 take homes from your guys' Heart Week?
Yeah. For me, I'd say your uncle. I forgot his name. Uncle Duncan. Yeah. And like how I relate to his story, like of how the Lord provided for him in that week, and like how everything got together, and how someone just gave him money and he was able to go study. And for me, like in the season that I'm in right now, I felt like, yo, I'm Uncle Duncan. I'm Uncle Duncan. And so I was like, oh, yo, Lord, I see what you have done for people, and I'm also seeing what you're doing for me. Like I can see your hand in my life when it comes to my studies and my tuition. So that was like the outline of what I studied.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd also say the same. I think Uncle Duncan as well was quite an inspiration, just on how he was like very passionate in what he wanted to do and wanted to study, and he was literally in an unknown area in Italy. So it was just really inspiring to see and to hear, and also just hearing from all the other professionals in the industry where they have a strong basis in the Lord in an industry that is usually full of darkness and full of people that reject and rebel against the Lord. So yeah, it was really inspiring.
I think for me also, like Foundation Week was, probably one of my best weeks, because like joining like Rev, I have like a whole clue like what I want to do, and then I realized like probably that's not what the Lord wants me to do. But I think the thing that when you share your testimony about your journey, and like I think that's something that really a lot of stuff stand out for me out of your testimony. Like speak about like most of us will probably want to win like Oscars for like our films and stuff like that, but then what is the point afterwards? Like what do you actually like fulfill yourself with? So I feel like for me now, I'm not even sure what will I do next year, but like I'm trusting, and just trusting in the Lord and see what He has for me.
Very cool.
Sick.
And you, Molly?
Yeah, I think it was cool to see everyone's like testimonies coming into the week, just how God brought everyone to RAF this year, and no one had like a story that was like, oh, I don't know what to do and I'm just going to come do RAF. Everyone was like, the Lord was so in it, and just getting the heart of everyone, just to even create this like stronger bond that we have at RAF. It was so sick.
Awesome. Cool. Nice, guys. Thank you so much for the intro. We're going to move on to the next, guys.
Thank you.
Sweet. Welcome to the next panel. So you guys are going to be just taking us through, obviously we've spoken about the intro week, we've spoken about the heart stuff, and I think there still could be heart stuff that like came up. But I'm keen to hear from you guys more like the practical things that have been happening. So we obviously started off with branding and design, which is actually a new part of our curriculum, which is super cool. What were some take homes for you guys about branding and design and like campaign thinking, and what did you like about it, and what was maybe challenging? Anyone can go.
Yeah, I can go. I think what is super cool is just seeing like what goes on behind the scenes, how brands come up with ideas, and I think it really really like shows you like how you can like think like a business owner, and how you can make the business like run smoothly. So I think that's really what stood out for me. Nice.
Did it like open your mind to like how the world of branding is like all about like storytelling, and like when you walk through the shops now and you see brands, has it kind of like open your eyes to the world and like the world of design and stuff?
Yeah, it kind of really shows like every decision that brands make, they did it for a reason, and not just for any type of reason. Because I think when you just like the customer seeing like into a business, you just think, oh, like they just did this or whatever for whatever reason, but actually seeing like everything behind the scenes and how they want everything to kind of like flow smoothly, like with everything.
Very cool. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think for me, I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did, but it was actually one of my favorite modules, and I thought I'd like more of the practical stuff. But learning all these things and going around and seeing different brands and like knowing the thought process behind each brand and how much effort each decision holds, it inspired me so much to be like, oh, I want to start my own brand, or how should I do this? How should I do that? And being equipped with the tools to be able to do that was such a blessing. And even just putting it into practice with the different projects, it was so much fun.
Cool.
It was also so powerful to see how like the decisions that go into it literally change how we view something. And yeah, literally by the decisions that the brand makes, it's how much the public enjoy it. So like being equipped with that knowledge and knowing that if we want to start our own brand, we have that knowledge to like go forward and make the decisions that we know the public will like.
Totally. It's a cool responsibility, actually. Nate?
Yeah, I would say with graphic design, it's way more frustrating than you actually think, but it's really worth it at the end. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Then, guys, what was maybe like what was your thinking around Photoshop? Like, did you ever think you could like understand a program like Photoshop? And yeah, did you enjoy it? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I think looking back at Photoshop, I was like, yo, like this is hectic. Like with the first time when I saw it before RAF, I was like, there's no way that I'll ever like understand this thing. And then I think when we started Photoshop and we actually did it, I was like, yo, this is actually so fun. And even like now I'm like showing friends of mine, like, look at what we made like in class. Like if you guys need anything, I'll do it for you, you know? And it's just a fun way to like be super like creative and yeah, start something like from scratch. Instead of using like templates and AI things that can do the things, but actually putting in the work, it's like its own type of art.
As Thurston said, like going into the Photoshop week, the app looks so daunting from the outside, but then you go in and there's like so many creative tools and so many cool things you can actually do. And I think a highlight being photoshopping our faces onto characters. It's like you never think you would be able to do it within the week. We did do it, so yeah, it was really cool.
I think for me, being equipped with all like the basics of Photoshop, it was very overwhelming just like looking at it from the outside, but then Jeremy simplified everything for us, and then just having those basics, we were able to go and explore more. So even outside of RAF time, because we have Adobe Premium, we can then go and learn different things to Photoshop. And I think what I've learned is that outside of the basics, after you learn that, the opportunities are endless for what you can create, and it's just like a whole different world of creativity. And I think for me, it was one of the funnest things because it was so inspiring to be like, I can actually create anything, and this system equips me with all the tools to do it. And I think, yeah, that was definitely my favorite module.
Very cool.
Yeah, no, I would say it does leave you a lot of room to be creative, especially for me. I was struggling a bit, you know, because it takes a lot of time and there's a lot of tools that you have to grasp. But I think Jeremy did teach us quite well to understand each one.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, I think it was, were you guys feeling, I remember like Luke said, like Photoshop was awesome. I think Luke said it, that once you understand the tools, you're only limited by like what you can imagine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's super fun. It's like Photoshop is just so much fun. So yeah, you guys are definitely going to use that a lot more. Okay, cool. So just in closing off your guys' section, is there anything else that you guys have enjoyed? Maybe, yeah, what has God done in your hearts? Maybe even actually. We have a very special panel with Thurston and Amber. You guys have come through a lot in your teamwork.
We come a long way.
Do you guys want to share? Maybe that is a cool moment. Like, tell us about that moment you were put into the team, what you felt. You don't have to go into like all the deep details, but then how you've come through and how you guys have proceeded to move forward.
Yeah, I can start the first off, then you can maybe finish it. Yeah. So basically, me and Amber have worked in a team all the time, and every single time. And like at first it was like, yo, like it's so like Amber's such a like a person, and I think I realized like me and Amber have very, very similar personalities. And I think I'm someone that kind of likes to either work alone or not really get a lot of support from people. And I think that was something that was super stretching. So when I found out that we were working together again, I was like, oh no, like Jeremy, like please, like let me out of here, whatever. Like, give me someone else. But yeah, like then the Lord, I don't know what the Lord did, but the Lord did a miracle, to be honest. Because then, yeah, what happened after?
So, yeah, I think because we were in a photojournalism project together where we had to make so many adjustments because what we wanted for the first 4 times didn't work out. So when we were put in a team now, it's like it's all of that over again. But then after a very emotional day, we sort of like came together, we prayed about it, and we were like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to seek the Lord in how we're going to deal with each other and how we can use this to benefit the group even. Because thinking back at it, we like just went through such a difficult time of a project before. We knew each other, how we work so well. Like, why not use that to your advantage and help our other teammates? So I think the Lord, just by praying through it, gave us so much peace. And then it actually ended up when Jeremy gave us the opportunity to choose a team, we chose each other, which is...
Genuinely, like, I think one thing that I've learned is that we both had like the exact same mission and vision, and we both wanted to like work productively and also have the unity that the Lord desires. So I think it is more like this thing of letting like the flesh like just go away and then just getting the Lord's heart for each other. And I think that made it so much more easier. And I was like, yo, like this is actually such a person to work with, and it makes life so much more easier because we both know that we can get the job done. And yeah, I think it was really, really fun.
Yeah.
Nice, great. Well done, guys. Well done for passing the test. Yeah, I think like that's the cool thing about teamwork is you constantly, you know, getting forced into these pressure situations where you are needing to endure through things together. And, you know, like it's amazing how the Lord uses these creative projects to bring up stuff like in your heart quicker than any other way that like in normal life, like you could just go for like a long time cruising, you know, keeping all those things in your heart. But when you're like under pressure, you're getting put in a team. It's amazing actually how when you rub like what comes out, you know, it's like reminds me of that scripture, like as iron sharpens iron, you know, like so does one man sharpen another. And like it's been super cool to watch you guys pass the test and now choose each other for teamwork, you know.
It's crazy.
So yeah, well done, guys.
Thank you.
So we got a new crew here. Super cool to have you guys. Welcome to our little recording podcast vibes. So yeah, we're going to chat about some more practical things wrapping up term 1, and then we're going to talk about maybe some standouts of like what God has done in you, you know, and it's really cool. I think he's done like unique things in all of us. So okay, let's talk about photography. You had a week of photography with Sam Brideseth. Some of you probably came into the week never having turned on a camera or never knowing about words like aperture and shutter speed and all these things. How did you guys feel going into the week, and then how did you feel at the end of the week?
I think for me, going in, I was like terrified because I hadn't held a camera, at least not in a very long time. And I don't even think I knew how to take the photo. So I was scared, and it was like this heavy, like expensive thing, and I was like shaking. And then I think Sam was so helpful, and even teammates were so helpful with just like the settings and just even the composition, and it ended up being so much fun. And it was so cool to see how I personally and even like my teammates like would grow in what we'd done. Like we'd start off with these really blurry, like iffy photos, and then they turned out looking so professional.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like I think your food photography was like a standout, eh? Like you guys smashed that. Yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think starting out, you literally don't know what is what. Like I never held a camera, especially such high quality cameras. I never held a camera in my life, and I didn't know how to function the settings. And then by the end of the week, I had done like a couple of practicals. We'd done food photography. It's insane how you get empowered in such a short span of time. Actually, I was shocked at how our brains are able to adapt and learn that quickly, because you get taught in 1 week, and then at the end of the week, like Monday, you know nothing about cameras, and then Friday, you know terms like aperture and white balance, and it's like, what? Yeah, that's how I felt.
Nice.
For me, I think like I grew up with a dad who did photography, so I think it was like cool to like know what these, like know of the terms, but then come here and then actually be like, oh, so this is what all of that meant, and be able to be like, yo, I'd be so excited to now go into like Addo and take photos of animals. And so I think it was cool to see how like there was almost like a little desire in me to be like, yo, now I'm so excited to actually take what I've been taught and go use it. Yeah, so it was like really cool, even how I was saying, like starting with literally nothing, and then feeling like I could use it to in whatever sense I wanted to. Like it took 5 days to teach me, and I know and don't know everything, but I feel like I know enough to get out there and just go for it.
Later?
I feel like during the first week of photography, I felt very lost, especially when you're talking about aperture and shutter speed and all of that. I was very lost, didn't understand what they were talking about. But I feel like as time went on, I started understanding and was able to take proper pictures by like adjusting a lot of things, and I feel like I'm very happy because of photography week.
Nice. So yeah, so then you guys obviously learned Monday to Friday. Monday you never touched the camera. Friday you had signed off with Sam, got Sam's stamp of approval. But then the following Monday, you guys jumped into your first real project using your cameras, right? So when you jumped into that Monday, the photojournalism week, what was going through your mind? Were you guys scared or were you stoked?
Yeah. It was quite scary to begin with, especially because we had to, like, in a short space of time, we had to find the subject and then like jump into taking like really good photos, understanding what you were taking photos of. Yeah, our group ended up doing the Stir Guys, which wasn't like our original plan, but it worked out quite well. And I think it was nice to see how we could connect with the subjects as we were going and get to know the guys at Stir and like capture what they were doing, like, and capture them as people. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
That's cool. I think when the lecturers came in and critted you guys, one of their take homes, or what they said, was they could see how all of you guys spent a lot of time honoring your subjects, right? How did you guys feel that process taught you how to like honor the people you work with?
I think it stems from what you actually taught us from Foundation Week. I mean, you teach us about media, but you also taught us that people matter. And like we'd literally just learned about cameras and how to figure out all the technical stuff, but like first learning that you're dealing with a real person with a real life, and like it's a privilege to have them give you the space and the time to do your project. Because the guy that we did, Lewis, he was a hardworking man trying to go about his day, but we had to respect his time and the fact that he was kind enough to allow us to shoot him and tell his story. So yeah, I think we had at the back of our minds the people matter sort of rule, and it taught us so much about actually love and honor and how we're supposed to carry ourselves in our workplaces.
Very cool. It's crazy because it's like you're doing photos, but you know, it's like that's actually a way you live that honors the Lord, you know, is love your neighbor as you love yourself. So that doesn't just apply, you know, like when you are setting out to love someone, but it applies in your daily living, you know. It's like that never stops actually. And I thought you guys did really well. We then stepped into your real world campaigns. So this was crazy. For those that are watching, this was proper crazy. The students had just wrapped up a busy week. I told them to go home and get some good rest. And now when I say that, they all like freak out because I actually meant it. And so the guys went home, they had a good rest. Then Monday morning they came. Monday mornings we have something called team time. So we were hanging out team time. And then I said, okay guys, brief them in on their project. And by 11 o'clock, I said, you guys are gonna be meeting in boardrooms or coffee shops around the city, meeting with real world business owners or leaders, right? And you guys had to then get in a car, go to a meeting and interview a real business owner. Like, how was that experience for you guys? Maybe later, do you wanna share, Brew? Like, you know, we went to Fred at the boardwalk, like in the boardroom. How were you feeling in that moment?
I mean, at first I was nervous because obviously first time working on a real life campaign, but I was actually excited at the same time because like I was really stoked, and Fred is a very good person to work with. And even the project itself, working on ISI, which is a place that I've always wanted to visit. And I was actually very stoked on actually doing the project itself.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. How did you guys feel? You guys are also at ISI Timbiso. How did that feel for you?
I thought it was like so like great that, man, like we're learning these things, and then like obviously it's a balance of, oh my goodness, we've just been thrown in the deep end, but then I also like learning hands-on, so it's like, oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out on the way. So then like going in to just chat with Fred, have like a proper like professional meeting and treat it as one, and seeing how the team work together to ask him questions to see what was his heart for the campaign, what did he want, so that we could try and meet that. And then hearing all of these cool things, and then putting our hearts into things, and then even like pitching it to him, being like, man, these are so sick, and then him like tweaking it, and we're going like having to be like, flip, I thought this was so cool, but then going cool, well then, and then like not like sinking in this thing of like well, what if it's not good enough again, but then like how the team almost just took it on the chin and just kept pushing. Yeah, it was really cool and really excited. It was really cool to see the work that came out. Yeah,
I think one of the cool things, or one of the biggest learnings for Aya was the word pivot. Be ready to pivot, because Aya would often like call me to her desk and say like, what do you think? And I'd be like, yeah, I think we might need to like pivot from that idea. And then Aya, how did you feel like having to get constructive feedback, pick yourselves up and not like hang your head, and then like actually like continue to problem solve even when you had to make changes? Like, how do you feel doing that?
Like in the moment, you feel like, oh, I'm not getting it right. Like there's constantly something I have to fix. Like in the moment, it's like friction all the time, because you just want to get it like complete. But afterwards, I was like, I was able to learn. Like I think that was one of my favorite weeks, because I'm like, I think in my head, I'd limited myself in the sense that there's things that I'm good at, and I want to stay in the avenue of the things that I'm good at. And sure, I can learn, but within that avenue. And that put a ceiling over my head, because now I'm thrown in a creative space where I'm gonna have to do things I've never done before, like working on Photoshop and designing a poster that, and never in my wildest dreams have I ever thought I'd be sitting there doing that and pivoting and receiving feedback. And then at the end, Jem saying, it's good, send it. That was such a relieving moment. Like, yes, we finally got it, and Jem is proud. So I really enjoyed the fact that like I was learning, and we came here to learn, and we have like support to learn. And I'm happy to pivot in the future.
Nice.
Just,
Future employers. Aya is ready to pivot.
May not look like it in the moment, but I'm learning.
Very cool. And you, Sophie, how did you feel like working on a professional job with like industry guys?
It was very stressful at first, and well, for the whole experience, because obviously you want to give like the business, like because we got holiday, you want to give your best, and I think my group, like we worked well to give our best to him, and I think we really captured, like we focused really hard on getting like the essence of holiday, and like really like working to capture that in our Instagram posts that we designed, in our posters, and I think it ended up being a lot of fun, and it was exciting.
Very cool. And then, like wrapping up the term, you guys touched on basic camera skills and sound. What maybe in those 2 weeks, like what was something that you realized or learned or are going to take home with you?
I think sound is quite great. Like it was quite interesting, the things we learned about how like the sound can tell so much of the story without even us recognizing it. We think it's just the film and the pictures, but actually sound plays such a great role. But I think my key takeaway from this week was just how like experts in the field are able to come teach us things and teach it in such a way that we're able to grasp it and use it, like equip us, like give us enough knowledge for us to be effective. And I think it's inspired me to not just want to be general in my knowledge and know a bit about everything, but actually like zone in on a specific thing and be an expert in that field and do it well and honor the Lord in it. So I was really just inspired by how hardworking like our lecturers are, including Jem.
We're in the podcast there. Jokes. That, yeah, I mean, maybe just in wrapping up, what was maybe a key take home for you guys in terms of like what God did in your heart throughout this term? You know, like was there like a significant character thing that happened, or yeah, anything that you feel like you won't look at the world or projects or people the same way because of this?
I think for me, like something that really stood out is obviously like there's that scripture. It's like everybody's a part of the body in a sense, like, and we all have like a role to play. And it's like the eye mustn't want to be the hand, and the hand, like obviously paraphrasing. And then seeing how as we went into teams, there was like such a like almost like that like clicking in of like, man, like I could do this by myself. And it's not just me. It's like all of us probably have the skill to do each and every task. Well, maybe not with the deadline, but like achieve it. But then because we work together, like people could have ideas that we wouldn't have had. And seeing how, man, not that just because they had an idea didn't make it anyone better than anyone else, but it's like it almost like kept the momentum going. So that was really cool. Like even for me to see how, like, man, how, yeah, like the team is so important, and I mustn't just try to like push through and do everything on my own. And yeah, there's so much value in teamwork. Yeah, that was something that like clicked in for me.
Awesome. K2?
I feel like something huge that like I feel like God has revealed in my life is forgiveness. Because even the littlest things like will completely turn me off. Like I'll be in a different mood and I won't want to work, but I feel like I shouldn't let the littlest things like ruin a relationship I have with someone. And I feel like forgiveness is something that I'm still working on, I'm still getting there, but it's something that I really want to grow in, being able to forgive someone, even when it's hard. Like, yeah, I just want to be able to forgive with my whole heart.
Awesome. Yeah, well, term 2 is coming. Many more projects, many more opportunities. And yeah, I think it's going to be great, guys. You've worked really hard, and I think even not just to you guys, but obviously to all the students. Like, you guys have worked so hard and put in a lot of effort, and you know, you can be proud of like even rocking up every day, you know, and wanting to honor the Lord with your work. So yeah, super stoked for term 2 and get some rest. Because term 2 is coming, baby. But yeah, enjoy the rest, and we'll see you guys in term 2.